Hello everyone. Thank you for coming to remember my dad, who died about a month ago. It is very sweet that you took the trouble to come out, some of you from far away. Know that it truly warms my heart. My dad is huge in my life. I use the present tense because he lives in me now, and he always will. I adored him. I miss him. I miss sharing with him. I miss the attention he always gave me. I miss our long conversations. Theodore Herbert Teisler was an artist, a musician, a furniture maker, a brilliant model airplane builder, a mechanic, an inventor, a devoted provider of his family, and indeed he was a political animal with an uncommonly wide open mind. He opposed the war in Vietnam from the start. He once made some 50 signboards for a local moratorium anti-war march in LaGrange, Illinois. I will never forget it. He was for civil rights and marched with Martin Luther King. He questioned the official story on 9/11. He listened to me about my vegan advocacy. He was always questioning, learning, digging up the facts. A hero of mine, in history that is, Sir Francis Bacon, the historic figure who is known as the person who successfully promoted the tenets of the scientific method throughout the world, who Thomas Jefferson considered to be one of the 3 most influential people of all time, would have loved my dad. I would hope. I would think. My opinion. These attributes of my father were extraordinary in him, no question about it. But I think most noteworthy, he was a man who always wanted to make things better, whatever that would mean. In this sense, he was kind of naive, childlike, but in a good way. In his immediate surroundings, that is his home or where he worked, wherever he was always Mr. Fix-It. We didn't call him that, but that's what he was. We all know that things get broken, they break down all the time. Entropy always lurks. And when it does, you can only wish you had my father there to make things better. He'd get that thing back up and working, or bust. The image I will always have of him is of his lower half of his body extended out from under the kitchen cabinet, fixing the disposal, or extending from behind the air conditioner, or leaning over the engine of a car. He was fixing these things, though a repairman he was not. I think we all know fixing things is not easy. Frustration is always a natural byproduct. Today's gadgets and appliances are not meant to be repaired. If one plastic piece breaks or goes missing, the rule is throw the whole thing out. But planned obsolescence is a business concept my dad did not accept. The phrase out of my dad in the midst of almost any repair when I was a little kid, "American manufacturers," he'd exclaim in disgust. Well, when I was growing up, things were actually manufactured in America. Anyway, often the situation called for more than repair. Often my dad not only fixed something that was broken, he ended up redesigning it. He was a genius with anything mechanical or physical. Examples of things he actually could have patented: our screen porch, the workshop fan, the fold-away ironing board. Jewel, help me out here. I am sure there were many examples. I dwell on this fix-it thing in my dad because I see it as metaphorical, as emblematic. I think if only his political passions had linked up with that Mr. Fix-It in him in a real and practical sense, perhaps if my dad was a powerful public figure, or if my dad had ruled the world. If my dad had ruled the world, that world would be in a lot better shape. Wherever he was, my dad was always trying to figure things out and to make things a little better. Sadly, this simple desire, this virtue, does not seem to be universal in this world. I dare say it is rare. But it is something that I would hope has been passed down to me in even a small way. Toward the end, when my dad's mind was completely gone, not surprisingly, his life spirit remained thoroughly intact. This was a man who didn't want to die. This was a man who loved life, who wanted to keep on living, defiantly. He did not accept his Alzheimer's. He loved his freedom. He was obstinate to rule and constraint, even with those who meant well, who wanted only to give him care. Dad could be difficult, all the time telling you he loved you. For this, I want to thank the amazing staff at Linconshire Place. You are the best. In addition, I will always be in debt to my sister Julia and her husband Dom for all they did, especially Julia, to move both Mom and Dad from their home in LaGrange Park to Linconshire Place. In closing, I simply want to say to you, Dad, wherever you are, I love you. You will always be with me till the day I can no longer say that. Amen.